That's where he keeps the cocaine.
Pretty woman.
It's a great beginning, though. I love this beginning.
Yeah. Better save the women and children first. I like the those throwaway Van Halen songs where they're just kind of playing with genres.
You're gonna like this one.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Welcome to the pre talking over albums Crimbus Spectacular, the saddest Christmas ever, part 2. We're going to speed through the intro here. We're back at the Halen doing Diver Down.
Diver Down.
And I'm here with my mushroomy hat that I just got today and my homemade eggnog, which tastes like nothing. It's the least offensive drink I've ever made. Got the Blue Odyssey going, Christmas tree. You have anything to say?
Smells lovely.
This is our first non-Hager.
Right. That's true. My uncle got me this for my birthday. He was completely depressed that I wanted a Van Halen album, but I was a kid. What do you want?
Well, hopefully the Roth can save us from the living nightmare that's been Van Hager this year.
All right. I think I'm ready. Let's enjoy.
All right. Diver Down, 1982. It's their 4th album. 4th or something.
Believe so. 3rd or 4th? 4th. Yep, 4th.
We'll just talk about it as it goes, because here's one of their, 2 or 3 Kinks covers.
Yes.
I wonder if they particularly liked the Kinks,
very much.
Or they...
My understanding is these are all holdovers of when they were playing at parties and stuff all the time. Relatively easy songs. God damn it.
Oh my god, this is already light years better than all the other Van Halen albums we've done. I'm not exactly a Kinks purist. I love them. Mm-hmm. But, this doesn't bother me really at all.
I think these guys had done them the best justice of any covers I've ever heard. I've heard some awful ones. Yeah,
they typically, if a band does something different with it, I'm like, all right, whatever. As long as it's not offensively different. I mean, because different doesn't equal good, but at least it's half the battle with the cover is can they make it their own? And they make it their own, so.
It's a little reworked, but not much. There's one thing I really like on this album is they
Whitney,
the drumming here. Alex, he's very snare happy on this one. You'll notice that as it goes on, it's lots of crack, crack, crack. I think he got a new microphone or something.
Okay,
went to town on it.
I don't know if it was the album before, or it starts to get into like I was saying, where they start to get into more playing the genres, sillier stuff, where each song doesn't have to be this monolith, heavy-hitting statement piece. So for a while, around late in high school and early college, I became obsessed with all of these, all of those type of Van Halen songs. Cathedral is really good. I don't know if there are a lot of them on here.
Well, this one, album, even for Van Halen, was kind of thrown together because they were fulfilling some obligation or something they had to do. Yeah, something contractually. They had to have an album that year or something. I don't know. Something like one of those kind of things that I would look it up, but what's the point? It's easier to just make something up about it.
Just hang them high. Yeah,
hang 'em high.
Another one would be they have a song called Blue Catherium, Women and Children First. Mm-hmm. But contractual obligation albums aren't always bad. Sometimes it's we gotta whip this thing out, so it's sort of open, there's no pressure, and sometimes it's good. Sometimes you can tell it's just drudgery to the artist, and they want to get it over as quickly as possible. But sometimes, I don't know if this was, I believe, a contract.
Well, that's why they, like I said, that's why they immediately went back to another Kinks song. They already had it. It was in the repertoire. It's a thing that apparently I haven't read about it much, but it's something that Van Halen did a lot. When they were pressed for one more song on an album, they would go back to something they played back in their garage days.
Yeah.
Which for Van Halen doesn't sound very Garage Day to me. They were playing like at the Whiskey and stuff. It was like they very quickly went from playing at parties to playing at venues.
Man, like, here's where the difference is so readily apparent, where they sound so light on their feet with David Lee Roth, where it's like they sound tight. They're sort of light on their feet. It's all very snappy, and they're all very just on that razor's edge. I'm going to go back in time and punch myself in the nuts anytime I've ever even jokingly said that Van Hagar was better. Because it's not. It's a big, dumb, meaty slog. Sammy Hagar is a meat grinder.
But also the criticism of David Lee Roth was he was a perfectionist, and that's why the albums came out for better or worse. It's like, was that really necessary? Some people in the band didn't think so. Eddie Van Halen at times, that's why they ended up kicking David Lee Roth out of the band, because he didn't feel like it was necessary to put that much effort into making it sound great. Man, we're just Van Halen.
Why are we still putting effort into records? We're going to get pussy regardless.
Yes. People will always hand me a bottle of Jack Daniels. I'm not terribly worried. I like he listens. I love how David Lee Roth introduced me to a bunch of like old things. Like, he respects the old stuff way back. I'm talking like Sinatra and stuff too.
Yeah.
A lot of his like he likes producers. He likes like that. That's what I was talking about in that when he sings on this song, and it's already over. But like that dissonance he's doing when he's singing kind of off the rhythm a little bit. But that comes from something way back. He's heard something and he's using it.
Cathedral. But yeah, like
Cathedral.
Alex Van Halen was
after a commercial.
Was on fire there. To me, I don't think I'll ever really love Van Halen, but my appreciation slowly grows for them. Where I think like at their coolest is where they all sound like they were recorded separately. It somehow just meshes where it's like one guy was recorded in a booth just freestyling. Mm-hmm. And they were all doing that separately without hearing what anyone else was doing, and then somehow mashing it together into this masterpiece where it sounds so unbridled, just off the wall.
Yeah, plus the guy that produced the producer Ted Templeman, it's like they insisted on working with him all the time. So it's like a real like sound they were going for. Plus, they liked Ted Templeman because he was okay with them moving quickly through things. Like do it 500 times, but in one day. We're going to do this entire album in a week.
Yeah, you got two covers on here. The next is Oh Pretty Woman. Oh, 3 Dancing in the Street. Oh Pretty Woman, and Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Yeah. And there may be another.
And Big Bad Bill.
Okay.
That's an old... that's actually... Whether you call that a cover or not is up for debate, I guess, because it's actually an old standard from Eddie and Alex's dad. It's from back in his clarinet days. That's why he's playing on it. They brought him in to play on it.
Shut up! Not you. Sorry.
Spotified. Cathedral. Finally.
This is cool.
Jeez. This is like his first foray into playing with the synthesizer. This is the beginning of the end of Van Halen with David Lee Roth, because...
I think there's a guitar, right? I think it's like a...
No, just listen, you'll figure it.
No, but I think he's playing his guitar through, like, a synthesizer program.
No, this is a synthesizer.
You sure?
Yep, absolutely.
I always thought this was a guitar.
I don't believe it's the first to have synthesizer. I believe it was the first that Eddie insisted that it would be on the album. He likes to do his little instrumentals, as most virtuosos like to do. He was smart enough to not to do an entire instrumental album because that probably wouldn't
bring you any presents. You don't get any eggnog.
Ziggy, lay down.
Boo! Stop it!
Lay down. Be nice. You can lay over there.
Oh, like the major problem is...
You can lay near your boyfriend.
The slog that is Van Hagar is how they basically neutered Alex Van Halen. They're like, alright, now you just get to play like a 1-2 beat.
And now we're listening to...
Secrets.
Secrets.
Stop, Ziggy.
Ziggy, no. He's trying to be nice, and you're just being a attention whore. He's such.
I vaguely remember this song being okay. I enjoy the lighter fare, a little more of the pop oriented.
I think they were trying to get on the radio with this one. If you listen to it, it sounds very 1982. This has a very top 40 sound to it.
This is something I've become really super fascinated with. Bands who are so on top of their game, they can put together what seems like a relatively weak album, but there's still just something special about it. For me, the ultimate is The Police's the one with Canary in the Coal Mine. Why am I blanking? Zenyatta Mandata. Actually both of them, Ghost in the Machine and Zenyatta Mandata, where they're mostly filler, but the band is they're just in such a zone that they're still good albums, even though the material isn't that great. They're still very good albums.
Right. The thing of Ghost in the Machine, I'm just going to say, because you use it as an example, that might be a good one to do sometime, just because I love how it is the remnants of their beginning and where it goes at, on synchronicity. You take this, it's this, it's like, if you listen to it knowing what happened, it's like, wow, there's that little bit of that, and there's that little bit of that. Like, this album, to me, now when I listen to it, it's like David Lee Roth really trying to get some radio play. You know what I mean? They threw it together, but at the same time, every song is like a choice. I'm sure in his mind when he's making it, he's thinking, will this one get radio play? Will this one get radio play? Will this one? There isn't anything thought of as filler on here, you know what I mean? There's nothing on here is just for the fans or just to fill up space. It's all to fill up space, yet he thought it out.
The party man was all a facade. He was just a shrewd businessman through and through.
I think so. An excellent entertainer. He
gets off stage in his unitard and he puts on his little bifocals, checking his spreadsheet.
Yeah, I don't think that was. I think everything was to facilitate getting high.
Facilitating pussy. He's like, haha.
Yes.
They all think I'm into
all
cocaine.
The fake boobed blondes he could find. And they loved him right back. The guy that can afford all the drugs, he usually is quite popular. Us other guys, we got to come up with like personality or.
But he's got a huge bulge and all the cocaine.
That's where he keeps the cocaine.
Pretty woman.
It's a great beginning, though. God. I love this beginning.
Yeah.
They just added this on here to make the album long enough to be called an album and not an EP.
They did kind of make it their own. I've never really loved Roy Orbison or Pretty Woman, but
I like this version. I respect Roy Orbison immensely, but this was the first version of this song I heard.
Oh, but yeah, like, hey.
Hello.
You have to join us, or else this is going to be the most. Well, we're doing a we're doing a 30-minute Van Halen album here, and I brought presents, which you're going to be horrified by. So you can.
That's my favorite kind.
And I got a fuzzy mushroom hat today.
He's very excited because we're doing Pretty Woman.
Oh, yeah.
I made my own eggnog. Tastes like. Actually, it tastes perfectly neutral. And
here we go. It's Pretty Woman. Here, you want to listen?
Man, this is like...
Don't I have new headphones around here something?
This is like a complete breath of fresh air after the Van Hagar we've suffered through this year.
Woo!
Pretty Woman.
Yep.
Did you see? I did some cleaning.
I did notice that.
Everyone on the podcast would like to know.
I feel like the podcasters don't need to know.
Chris has been persona non grata. Persona non
quittin-ma-job. I did not quit my job today.
You'll be happy.
I mean, you're welcome here. I can't remember what it's called.
I had this list of just interesting pop artists of Christmas albums. One of them you'll love is Carole King has one called A Christmas Carol.
Oh!
That is the worst dad joke ever.
And Scott Weiland has the Christmas album.
What's
or
that?
had. where he tries to.
He had a Christmas album. Now he's dead.
He tries to do a crooner voice, and it's really weird.
Still Pretty Woman.
Oh my god!
You moved your. Do you want? Are you looking for your box of headphones? Here.
Oh yeah, I made a box of headphones. It's labeled and everything.
Your Merry Christmas headphones, even though you weren't supposed to get.
I will say, like this cover is fine, but this is very paint by numbers. They're just kind of. You can tell they probably played it 1,000 times and were just like nobody sounds particularly interested in playing this song. Want me to make you a Brett Nog?
She will not.
It's filled with.
She will not.
Disgusting ingredients.
Yeah, she will not drink that.
I made myself a. Do you have the makings of frozen?
Oh my god, that was like snot at the bottom.
Oh dear.
Into the glass.
Would you like a mint? I have mints in my pocket.
See, she's walking back to me. Oh my god. Skibbity bop. Oh, pretty woman. Okay, here's
Money in there. Don't throw that envelope away.
Here's one of 10,000 covers of Dancing in the Street. Is there a way to definitively find out how many times a song's been covered? Ooh. And why people like covering it? Because it's a song? I mean, I like what they do with this, because they put that synthesizer riff in there that kind of breaks up the monotony of the beat. So out of the 100 million covers of Dancing in the Street, Van Halen's is definitely up there. But I'll never figure that out. Why white people are so obsessed with this song.
Oh, Pretty Woman.
I mean, at least Mike.
It's a great song. What are you talking?
At least Michael McDonald had the good sense to rewrite it. Oh yeah! When I was at the record store today, I found the single version of Michael McDonald's "Sweet Freedom" from that movie with Gregory, Hynes, and Billy Crystal. What's that called? You know that movie?
White Knights or something like that?
Oof.
The one where they were both dancing.
Cry, sweet freedom.
It's fun. You just have to. Sometimes you gotta jiggle it. Sometimes you gotta pull on it.
That
I know the song. I don't know what the meaning.
Gregory Hynes, Billy Crystal movie where they're like in Hawaiian shirts and it's called like Busting Loose or Getting Laid.
Busting a nut.
Whatever.
Busting your nuts with Gregory Hynes.
This song is just.
It's radio pablum. Just let it go, man.
There's just like there's some things in music that I just legitimately don't get.
Why people do things just to get it played on the radio? You don't understand that? Alright. You're an artsy guy. Some people just want to be famous.
No, I mean...
They don't care.
Even the original isn't...
No, honey, it's this end. You just have to jiggle it around until it comes in.
Yeah, like the original song isn't that good, but at least it has that kind of 60s Motown girl group charm to it, where every cover of it is just a boring white...
Just twist it around, that's what I was doing. It came in.
Sorry, I'm cranky. Whitney's here again. Bobby!
Bobby! Alright. Dancing in the Streets is done.
I like that song. I missed it.
You just listen to him complain about it for 10 minutes. The whole time the song's on. He's complaining about it. I like that song.
I hate when people undercut my bitching.
Have a Shiner cheer.
Yeah, it turns out these are much better on tap. Like they're too sweet, like too a little bit, like slightly. They're still good, but
yeah, I have
slightly
to be
too syrupy and sweet.
I have to be in the mood for anything from Shiner. It seems like they like sugar a lot, and I like it all right, but not when I'm having a beer or something.
I'm just saying, like on tap, this is a damn near perfect beer. It's just like 7%.
Isn't it the one that tastes like nuts? Or?
It's yeah, you can try some. All right, what's next? Little guitars.
It's got your awful eggnog in my mouth.
That's what she said.
It's just like somebody mixed some chalk up with some milk and then just stuck it on my tongue and told me to let it dry.
Oh, you know what's great is when the universe comes down and says, you aren't as great as you think you are. Because I've been sent into a rage lately by stoplights and advertisements on Spotify.
Little
where it's
guitars.
Like, I think I need to go on a retreat somewhere. Because I'm getting stabby.
Me too. We have a club for stabbing.
I think I have a demon, because I'm basically, it's silly, and I'm watching myself do it, but I'm still going to stab somebody, and it's not going to be my fault.
What I do with that knife, that was probably... I should put that away.
You're going to love your gifts. Man, there's a lot of filler on this album.
Pew, pew, pew. I think Eddie Van Halen would be really mad if he knew that you called all of his stuff filler.
It's beginning to look a lot like filler.
You like my gift wrap?
This is cool.
Don't you like how See? It was like you were saying, Alex Van Halen, he gets to drum on these. It's like like they invented some new way to record drummers or something.
I forgot my real headphones, but doesn't matter.
Full of them somewhere.
Well, I couldn't have worn them.
They're up here. I have to get them all untangled. You made a big mess out of them, so.
Is there a name?
When we were cleaning, we never finished that.
I just usually call it the Uncle Buck. Oh, yeah.
This is where I keep my cigars.
It's the babushka.
Are there any nail clippers around here?
No. We don't clip our nails. We chew them off like real humans. Senorita.
This might cut
things. Yeah, we were talking about how just the night and day difference between Van Hagar and Van Halen. This isn't even a particularly good album at all, but it's still enjoyable.
It's balanced.
Where it's miles and miles and miles better than the best Van Hagar album, in my opinion.
But and one of the major things for me is letting the drummer drum. And this one, he's just having fun. He's all over the kit. And once Sammy Hagar showed up, he's like, "Nope, you're gonna hit this when I tell you, and this when I tell you, and make sure your kick drum never interrupts what I'm singing."
Well, that's what I was trying to say earlier.
We're here to make money, bitch!
Templeman was really good at capturing what Van Halen's would sound like live. Like, this is going to be very similar. I really think Fair Warning is an excellent example of what Van Halen sounded like live. You know, you listen to that album and it's like, these guys are just cutting it up. Yeah. You know, they're just... It's like the first two albums, Van Halen and Van Halen 2, are literal just garage... You know, this is what we used to play in the garage.
Van Roth, super nimble, full of cocaine.
Yeah.
Van Hagar, full of ham and tubed meats.
Well, I told him the bulge in his pants had to be the cocaine. He's got cocaine and a bulge in his pants. That was the bulge in his pants.
How do you see that get through customs?
Hi.
Yeah, he had the foil wrapped cucumber, but the cucumber was hollowed out and filled with cocaine.
Yes.
That awful cucumber smell probably really threw off the dogs.
If you have a large penis worth of cocaine, you probably do not have to have a large penis. Those girls want to party with you.
I know.
Everything you want to drink, everything you want to snort, everything you want to smoke, he's got it all. And he's the first to admit it.
Well, this is pretty sweet.
I'm enjoying this song, but there's not much to it.
This is the most enjoyable sort of non-starter album. There's no point to it at all.
It just fulfills a contractual obligation they had.
But they did it pleasantly. It doesn't really feel like a throwaway.
Yeah, there's still like the David Lee Roth signature on it.
Yeah, it's all pleasant.
There is
pleasant and interesting.
Fun,
none of it's
but
mind-blowing,
everything sounds good. Mm-hmm. Nothing is a throwaway.
What's this?
Yonder in Louisville.
Yeah, see, this is the stuff I like. All their little goofy genre songs.
This is all David Lee Roth. That's the thing I always liked about. Yeah.
I was telling him,
he wanted to be
this is Eddie and Alex's dad are playing the clarinet on this. He was a famous clarinetist. Because the rock stars you know from today, sometimes they came from a family full of people who knew how to do this stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know this one.
I thought he was talking about the whiskey.
A compilation.
That's another one. There's two of them on this.
There's so many of them. That's the thing. That's why they were so much more fun than Van Hager.
Or when he did his first solo album, Eat 'Em and Smile.
I know that album backwards and forwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be in the first.
There's a lot of good.
The first Van Hagar meeting where he just shows up with the lyrics to. He's like.
So this one's about an alien, I bet.
I'm like, what?
Oh, God damn it!
And they went, okay, yeah.
And then he plays this song on like a cassette player, and he's like, "This shit ain't happening anymore. This is bullshit. We have statements to make. And
I am the Red Rocker.
And bank statements to fulfill." Like, okay, Sammy.
I am the Red Rocker.
Oh yeah, I was telling him.
I was the main focus of Montrose.
Yeah, when I was.
I cannot be doing this filth.
I almost bought you a Montrose album today. Here's
thank you for that.
The full bug.
If you ever find a Rolling Stones album, I'm all into all of those.
Oh, I was looking...
Even the bad ones.
For, like, pop and rock artists who have Christmas albums. And I came across a Christmas song with Sammy Hagar and Toby Keith called Santa's Going South for Christmas, which I assume is about Santa giving a beach to somebody.
Plus, I saw a guy write about David Lee Roth's song Yankee Rose. He's like, it is the greatest suck my dick, I'm American I've ever heard. He's like, it's not my words, that was somebody else's. But it was just like, it might be the best national anthem since the national anthem. We're the Yankee Rose.
It was a love song to America.
Yeah, another thing we're talking about before you got here is how a song can be not that great, but you can just tell when there's some underlying greatness. They're not doing too much. They're not doing too little. There's just like this base level of really high competence where anyone else trying to do this would sound either horrible or like they were going through the motions. In my prime example was the Police's Yada Mandata album, where it's not particularly good, but they're still like at the top of their games. They could have done anything, and it would have just...
Right, like a simple song played poorly is going to sound dumb.
Best part of man.
All right, how long are we... Because we didn't know intro, so we're almost completely like in sync with the album. 34 minutes.
Man.
Yep, we just got a 1 minute song coming up. Happy Trails.
Is this like Happy Trails? Like the... Who's that? Gene Autry?
Because I told you this is just it's half the album is covers.
We don't have to pay anything.
Happy Trails.
Oh yeah, you're right.
To you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 of the 12 songs are half the album covers there.
Short covers, by the way. But this one has more inklings into what 1984 becomes, I think. As you know, I'm already wrapping it up, I guess. But it's like
it's fine.
It's like
Nathan doesn't get his presents; he's excluded.
I'm just saying, don't you see that, Chris? Like where it's kind of like you hear a lot of this album, you hear it in 1984 later, but this album didn't do awesome. So their big answer to that was to do Fair Warning, which is a bunch of down and dirty. Just I don't even care if you play it on the radio or not. I know my fans will buy it, and I'm going double platinum. You know, it's like
I don't know, but this has been a pleasant experience. Maybe I had too much eggnog, but this has been the least.
Where's my dog?
There's been albums that I just objectively like better than this, but have been.
Of course,
this is less painful than those.
I picked this one for you,
so I'm still giving this like a 6.2 out of 10. I'll give it a tepid. I'll give it a leg in the pool. I'm not giving it a diver down. I'll put like one leg in the pool on a really cold day, and you're like, all right. But still, this gets to the trophy for least offensive album that we've done.
Well, I was only here for like 4 of the songs, but I say this album could make me feel better on a bad day.
Yeah, the only low spot was Dancing in the Street.
And that's because Van Halen in a nutshell, isn't it?
All right, taking a break, and then we're coming back for the real Christmas Holiday Special featuring William Shatner and Taylor Swift.
And
presents. And not
Scott
Nathan.
Weiland.
Scott Weiland.
Because he decided to bundle up on his floor and
hug his cat.
hug his cat.
He was out in the wild.
You could have had it all, Nathan. You could have had it.